making YouTube videos for instructional purposes and hopefully make money someday, you never know what's going to be a hit. YouTube, if you do make videos and post them on YouTube, you have access to something called YouTube Studio. YouTube Studio tells me my demographic is 20 to 60 some odd years old and blah blah blah, but who knows what people that old are that age are gonna watch. I don't know what I'm gonna watch. Anyway, year and a half ago, this is Thanksgiving week, before 4th of July, a year ago, so a little bit less than a year and a half ago, my wife and I took the cow dog overlanding from Central Texas out to Oliver, Colorado up in the mountains, and I did a video every day about what we were doing and how the truck did and all that kind of stuff. I think those 13 or 14 videos, one of them might have more than 100 viewers, 100 views, maybe. No one seemed to care no one seemed to watch what I was making on this, so I stopped doing cow dog videos. A week or so ago, I get a comment from somebody, hey, they watched one of those videos, actually the first one, can you go in and talk about your swing away gear mounts? Like, sure. So, truck itself is an 87 Chevy 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive diesel Suburban that I put a Humvee pull-out GEP 6500 with a Banks turbo on it and a 4L80E transmission. Called the cow dog. I replied to the comment saying I'll do it as soon as the rain stops. The rain stopped, and a lot of wind. Hopefully the wind isn't messing us up like that. Anyway, so I finished the truck. This is fall of 23. I finished the truck in spring of 17. All right, I'm going to zoom in on this. So the main parts of the swing away, I built all this. What I bought was this plate here, this catch, spring-loaded catch, the bolt, which is actually a shaft, bearings inside there, dust seals, and this tubing right here, which is the where the bearings reside in, makes the whole thing work. I bought all that plus my locking handle back in spring of 17 from a place called comp4x4.com. Products were great. I loved it. Oh yeah, there's a hole there and a hole here. You'll see how he is. Once I unlatch it, I got it so I can swing it out. It will catch and lock in. If you can see that. Let me zoom. So I built it so I can carry a high lift jack, 35-inch tire. Well, actually, it's a 315/70 R17 Hummer H2 wheels. So all those parts there and the locking handle I got from Comp 4x4. They were exact. Oh yes, really important part. Let me zoom in on that. The thing I really liked most about it was this single piece of metal bent into a U that the bearings fit into. That was all part of what I bought from Comp 4x4. I assembled it by cutting a plate. There's another plate behind this. See it there? Behind the bumper, drilling the holes. Mounted this to the bumper first. Then I just made this vertical. Put it on here, welded it on, and then started building from there. Well, I built it as weird looking as it is. tire hanging so far back is I wanted to have, there's room for 2 jerry can mounts. High lift jack, jerry can mounts. I found that I was, with a 40-gallon tank, I was never really in a spot where I was below half tank anywhere. So I put my CO2 tank holder on here. You know, we travel places. I'll run the I'll keep the CO2 tank there, and for airing my tires back up. I had to keep this far enough away from the door so it wouldn't hurt the door. Unfortunately, you can see where my paint's worn through. The buckle on the webbing that holds the can on, after several thousand miles of riding there, wore through that. Oh well. All right. The other thing I bought on this, you can see now, was this plate. This plate I think I got off Amazon, and it's drilled for every single off-road type lug pattern you can think of, and the 8 lug was part of it. So that's what I got on there. It works great. I also, because this truck it is not a CUCV. However, I have several CUCVs. I like the way they look. I love having these shackles and the pedal hook. This is a 1008 rear bumper, by the way. So I got that tubing there. I put a piece of 1-inch or 3/4 inch tubing welded on there that fits into that, and that's where the latch for my safety latch goes. The catch for my safety latch. Piper, you don't need to be in the video. It worked really well. If you do something like this and you want it off of here, it really, when just this one's on, sometimes it's a pain to open that door, move this out of the way, pull this door open, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's the other thing. I had to make it so these doors would open without hitting anything. And I'll get to that in a few minutes. But that's also why the tire's so far out and the way things are. I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. I got tired of having to move this thing out of the way to get stuff to the back door. I was helping somebody move a year after I built all this and put it on. So I thought I'd just take it off. And instead of pulling the nut off and the bolt there, I undid these 4 bolts, pull the whole housing off. This thing's heavy. I took all the stuff off first. Had to use my engine hoist to hold it while I unbolted it. Do not do that. It was a major pain to get this thing lined back up again like I had it so it would fit on here. That one I pull off all the time now. And I just put an impact on the inch and a half bolt down there, wiggle a little bit, pull the pin out, take the thing off. A whole lot easier to try and undo these 4 bolts. Alright, so that's this one. I did not want to have my tire come off and be bouncing down the highway, no matter what I was doing, or bouncing down the trail if I was on some trails. So I made this thing out of thick wall, 3x2 rectangular tubing. It is heavy. It has not bent. There's no troubles with it. It is heavy. I probably should have built it lighter. So when I got around to wanting to do the ones for this side, I built it lighter. And, alright, I got on the internet, comp 4x4. Ordered the exact same parts again. The plate, the bolt, the bearings, the tube around the bearing, and the catch. This is in 20, right before COVID hit. I took my money, nothing. Months go by. COVID hits. More months go by. I started emailing. I got, oh, we'll give them out to you any second now. And it was, I'm going to say November, December. I had heard nothing. And a package showed up out of the blue with, let me pull the camera over there, a different just little ears. It doesn't bolt. This is my plate behind there. It's just got two ears instead of a whole assembly. So I actually had trouble getting those lined up just right and square and welded on. But it had the spring-loaded thing in the plate. I had to turn down a little bit to make it fit right. But I had that. And it's locked in, locked on, all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't quite right. But just these ears, the bolt and the tube showed up. This didn't show up, and the release handle didn't show up. I emailed Comp 4x4, no reply. Started calling them, no answer. And one day I got somebody, and they said, well, we completed that order. I ended up getting this off, I don't know where I got it from. I think Amazon. Anyway, this one, because it's not lined up exactly right over here. Well, I'll show you. I got the same thing. And it locks on. It locked in. Yeah, it locked in. So, there's my whole setup, which takes up basically 2 parking spaces. Keep that in mind if you're going to build one of these. It takes up 2 parking spaces. And I hope I have my doors on. No, it's not. Let me get a key while I'm talking to you. Bit. I only have 2 bolts on this plate. This one I have 4. I'm gonna have to drill 2 more, put them in, because it's not stabilized. And I'll get to those in a second. I cannot open the door as far as I would want. This one, I get that far, and it clears everything. But this one, not so much. What I have on here is, let me see from the side here. I love making my own stuff. I like making things. I love thinking up, I should do it this way and make it that way kind of thing. But let me back up a little bit. Maybe my head won't be cut off this time. My fold down cooking surface counter area here, which is here and here on this. This is meant to bolt into the tailgate of a JK. I think it's a JK or JL Jeep. This isn't, I don't remember which Jeep part supply people I got it from, but it's just it's a Jeep, ready-made Jeep product. Because that one is so darn heavy, I want to make this one lighter. And I got the twin jerry can water mount bracket, which is a military surplus thing. Bought it from a guy with the military trucks who had them. It's not aluminum, but it's lighter. It's steel. So I made this my base. I was like, okay, this thing's super steady. Oh yeah, if you're trying to make something lightweight, don't buy military stuff unless it's airplane stuff. Because military truck stuff is extremely overbuilt and heavy. their backpacks. Don't use their backpacks for hiking unless you want to be overstressed. Anyway, I made this the base. Once I put one 3x2 bar down below, I started using aluminum. These are all aluminum pieces, straight iron. Well, what I didn't think about is the aluminum works great for holding this. That's all I was doing with it. Great. Having a 5-gallon jug of water here at 8 pounds a gallon, that's 40 pounds. And then having it, because this thing twists just a little bit, sometimes it sets down on my bumper and I gotta give it a good little pull. I used to pull, just grab the handle on the cooler and pull the cooler. I bit my aluminum. When I take it apart, undo it after this video, I'm gonna take this all apart and straighten it back out again. The holder for the jug is the buyer's. I got that off of Amazon, I think. And then this thing here, I waited months, or longer than that, to buy it because this is an Action Packer, Rubbermaid Action Packer tote, whatever you want to call it. These things are great. They're not quite waterproof, but they're tremendously cheaper than the waterproof things of this size. And swag, S-W-A-G. Closing in so you can see that. Swag. Swag. I've never met the people who run Swag, but their website, if you like making things, Swag's website is, you're drooling. Because they just they make things themselves and they think of how to make it better. I could put a lock on here, but look out, Rusty. This is an aluminum Action Packer holder. Super lightweight. And there's storage space on top to put more things on top. I actually have a canopy. Suction cup to the windows. It goes back 10 or 15 feet. I carry it on top, and I've carried I also carry camp chairs up there. But it's not going to be raining. I'm not going to be in the dirt. So, Swag, S-W-A-G. I also have one of their, I built a table that turns a handheld 6-inch Milwaukee bandsaw into a table mount. If you watch my videos about the Jeeps, I use that a lot, making that floor for that Jeep in there. Close this one back down. Sweetness, you gotta get out. Go for a ride. I got Sweetness. I have it so it locks open and locks shut. One of my biggest fears is this thing swinging around while I'm going down the highway. Don't want to have that. All right, I also have, and I don't have it on there today because I got the cover on the tire, but again, a Jeep product. I bought I think, shovel holder for a JK, JL, whatever Jeep with a spare tire on the back that bolts on the spare tire. I had to drill some holes to make it fit these 8-lug wheels, but it comes out, it's got clamp to hold a shovel. I made it so I can take a Humvee Pioneer toolkit, which holds the axe, the shovel, and the pickaxe, and it clamps into that thing. So with my tire cover off, I got all my tools up here for going wherever. Again, I use the truck for camping last locally, so I didn't need to have all that stuff on it. I really cannot give you advice on where to buy pieces for this anymore because Comp 4x4, I looked up online before I did this video, they don't exist. Or there's a website, but nothing's there. I don't know what happened, but I'm still waiting for my other pieces. I got the wrong parts instead. Also, you see this? Kind of. I welded in, capped every single piece of tubing on this one. This side, I left it wide open. I was trying to save weight. Can you see that? Sure you can. Yeah, I left that one open. I capped that one. Oh, that's not a bad weld. That's just the weld for the security latch that you saw there. Yes. I got the welds for the cap, and then I got the welds around the bracket. That's not just a random weld on there. I'm not that bad, I don't think. All right. Hopefully that helped out giving you what I have, how I built it. Again, the biggest pain, look, as soon as I'm done with the video and I watch it, make sure my microphone will work and that kind of stuff, I don't got to do it again. I'm taking all these things out. I'm unbolting this, taking off the truck. Because it's a pain to undo that, slide this over, open the door, undo this one, slide it out, and get the other door open. I haven't used this door in, it's been ironed since October. This is late November. I haven't opened the door since October. It's just, use the front doors. Aluminum's nice, as far as weight, but it can't be, don't use flat aluminum, because it bends. This thing here, you can see how it's bent forward some. And I didn't want to do angle iron aluminum, just because that would be kind of weird looking. And I didn't want to use square tubing aluminum either, because that'd make too much space. Now, functionality wise, they do exactly what I need. I got water, I got cold water, I got a place to cook, I got my spare tire, jack, air, and fuel, and all my cooking gear goes inside this thing here. Again, the price of the swag stuff, this is aluminum. It's nice. Ooh, you pay for it though. Anyway, hope that was helpful.